Happy Tuesday evening. Nice to have you here. I see lots of people on. Welcome Pam and Teresa, Melissa, Shanda, Wendy, Vicky, Debbie. I appreciate you being here and I appreciate you sharing. So tonight is, I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy giftable. It requires very few products, and the only, well, I won't say only, just a few Stampin' Up! Products, as well as a few other things that lots of crafters have around or are easy to get to. These make terrific gifts. I'm going to show you one set. I made these for myself. These are coasters. Okay, very quick, very simple. I want to show you how to do it, and then I'll suggest some ways that, some uses for them, that gift ideas. Okay, and this is the Magnolia Lane Designer Series paper. I chose this because I actually have a chair and ottoman and blanket, just some things upstairs in my living room that are this petal pink color. So I like that a lot, and I've been needing coasters, and I don't know why. I've lived here over a year and a half and am just now making myself some. So let me show you how I did it, and then I'll give you a few tips as well. And then we can talk how to use them as gifts. Okay, so you're going to start with, and I usually do sets of 4. Typically, when they're in stores, they're sold as singles or in sets of 4. So I just do sets of 4. First of all, you need just a plain tile from like Home Depot or Lowe's or anything like that. It's just a 4-inch plain white ceramic tile. And then you're going to need some Modge Podge. I always prefer to use the matte finish. And then you need 4 pieces of coordinating Designer Series papers. And these have all been cut out from the Country Club Designer Series paper. And, oh, now I'm looking at that. I like that side too. So you can see, you can mix and match and do all kinds of different things. Let's go ahead and do this. Also, those plaids and things are another great option. I like to use a little sponge brush. Highly technical term, I'm sure. Oh, Debbie, do you remember making those? It's been a long time. I had been a demonstrator probably just a few years, and one summer day I had people coming to my house to as a class, and I put out all kinds of Designer Series paper. They could pick, they could choose, they could mix and match them. I would cut them to size for them, and then they would go to town making their coasters. And we even went so far as to finish them. So in terms of how to keep them looking nice and not scratching furniture, things like that. So we'll talk about that today as well. And then, oh, I forgot my scrap paper. Let me grab some. We can use this. So you just want to put it down in place. When I put the Modge Podge on, I like to go both directions with it a couple of times to be sure that there aren't any spots on the tile that don't have the Modge Podge on it. Then I like to smooth it out. When it feels like it's starting to set, which is very quickly, I put my hand over it and I like to go around, press around the edges. And that looks pretty good. Now I like to have some wipes or a damp rag close by, not wet, just damp, and use it to kind of wipe around the edges. You know, if you get any of that Modge Podge drip, here you can see just a tiny bit. I like to wipe that off. Set that aside. So there's one. And look at how quickly I can make these up. They're very inexpensive too. What are the tiles, like 20 cents a piece or something? So they are quick and very affordable to make up, whether they be for yourselves or to give as gifts. You can make a whole bunch of them on low budget. The most expensive thing you're going to be using is your designer series paper. And I know we all have plenty of paper laying around, right? I don't worry about that. Of course, we always have fun papers that we can buy and new patterns and prints to try, new color schemes. Okay, that looks pretty good. And again, when you're using your scrap paper, you'll notice, I think you can see it on the film, that I have some Modge Podge left on the paper from that kind of oozed out. When you have that, you want to be careful not to place that directly on top of the next coaster that you're doing. Otherwise, that Modge Podge will come off on the designer series paper and just not look as neat and clean. So what I do is just fold it over. And then I'll wipe the edges again. See how quickly this is going? The sponge brushes are also very inexpensive. A bottle of Modge Podge lasts like forever. That day at my house many years ago, gosh, I don't even know how many people we had, but it was all day long, people coming in and out, and everybody made at least 4 unless they paid to do another set. And I think we maybe opened a second bottle of Modge Podge, but used very little of it. If you are somebody who likes to do craft fairs and craft shows, this is something that you can make quickly and easily. Your cost is very low, but you can charge, you know, something decent. Even if you charge $10, which is super cheap for a set of coasters, you are still making out like a bandit. They are so affordable to make. Lisa and Sharon, Amy, thanks for coming. Wendy, yes, great Christmas gifts. Hi, Susie. Okay, once again, just go over the edges. And again, when you're pressing over it, you really just, I have not had a problem with bubbles underneath, but you are smoothing it out so that you don't get any air bubbles. But also it's really important that you're pressing around the edges with that scrap paper so that those edges seal. I love when I hear that people who made these with me so many years ago are still using them and they still look like brand new. That's a testament to how good these products are. And if you make it correctly, they will last forever. And if you take care of them correctly. We will talk about sealing them, sealing the top, so that if somebody, you know, there's condensation from their drink or their cold beer or what have you, their ice water, we want to protect that designer series paper. Now here you can see it moved. The wonderful thing about Modge Podge is it's forgiving. You have a little work time there. Okay, let me fold this over, make sure I'm using a part that does not. So if that happens, maybe press down in the center and then go around. Oops, it shifted again. None of the others did, but this one just wants to move a little bit on me. And again, I have just enough wiggle room there that I can move it back into place. Okay, perfect. All right, so there in what, 10 minutes, I have 4 coasters put together. Remember, you're using 4-inch ceramic tiles, and I cut my designer series paper to 3 3/4. And that is important that you have that border around, and I'll show you why. Here are 2 I did earlier to show you examples. They look awesome, don't they? The only thing is, can you see there's a little gap? The tiles are kind of beveled or rounded on that top edge. So it's very hard to get your designer series paper to stick all the way down, even pressing it down, unless I was going to hold each side all at once. You can see there's some gapping. So if you cut them to 3 3/4, then you get that nice border all the way around, and that seals in to your designer series paper better. Hi Deb and Susie and Carrie. Oh yes, Susie, yep, we made them a lot back in the day. I love them. And you know, they're so easy too. Like, I'm using these upstairs in my living room. Here's a second set I made. And you know what? If you change out your colors for the seasons, the holidays, just because you're bored with that color scheme, you can make another set for just so little, a couple of dollars, really. Okay, so let's talk about finishing these so that they're sealed. I'm going to tell you 2 different ways, and I'm going to tell you which I prefer and why. I'm making sure these are all, yep, they all look great. I prefer, well, let me tell you this. First of all, you could go ahead and use your Modge Podge. And this is matte finish. They have like a glossy finish too, and all kinds of things. I just use the most basic. But you could go over this with the Modge Podge. Okay, and that works perfectly fine. Alrighty. What I don't like about using the Modge Podge is that you can see all the brush strokes. Okay, even when it's dried, it'll be completely sealed, but you can see all the brush strokes. If that doesn't bother you, by all means, keep using your Modge Podge to seal. Or you can do what I do. I like to let mine dry well, take them outside. It's rainy this evening, so I will take them outside tomorrow or put them in a flat box in my garage, and I'll spray it with this acrylic sealer. You can also, and this one just says clear. I ordered mine online since we're not going out shopping. This is non-yellowing, so I like that. But you can usually purchase these in glossy or matte finish. I prefer the matte, but again, either one is acceptable. It's just a matter of preference. And I would put them in a flat box, cardboard box with some sides to kind of protect you and the things around you from the overspray. And when you do it, start off of the coasters and go back and forth well beyond the borders. I let that dry, and then I come back in and I do the same thing. Start beyond the coasters or off the coasters and go back and forth well beyond the borders. And the reason I say go beyond is because when you actually change direction, you're stopping for just the briefest moment, and you can get some of that acrylic spray. It'll kind of puddle or could drip. So, you know, about this high, about 8 to 12 inches above it, back and forth. And then the other direction as well. Let it dry really well. And then after that, your coasters are ready for you to wipe clean with a damp cloth or Clorox, Lysol, whatever. I feel like I'm like carrying these around. I keep one of these in my purse. I have hardly gone anywhere, but when I do, I take it with me, and I'm always like holding doors open for people because nobody else is wearing gloves, and I'm touching the door handle. Ugh. So just another way to keep myself safe. But the one thing you don't want to do, even after they are sealed, is you don't want to immerse them in water. You don't want to submerge them in water. Just wipe them off with a damp cloth. The reason is the backside is not sealed. And this tile, it's probably made of like clay or something, but it's very porous, so it will absorb that water from underneath, okay? But just having a glass on there, or glass of ice water or a cold bottle that the condensation is stripping down, you should be well protected by putting on the layer of Modge Podge. But remember, if you do this, you will see brush strokes, or you can use your spray sealer. The other thing you want to do to finish these off is, and unfortunately I thought I had more, so I really can't do it. I can't finish them off until I can get to the store or order some. You want to use some of these felt pads. I like to put one in each corner. That will protect your furniture, your glass tabletops, anything like that. You can also, Shar is asking, yes, I always put something on the bottom. Absolutely, I always do. You want to protect your furniture. So you can either use these felt pads, or you can use cork. Cork that you cut, or sometimes you can get it too in little squares or circles as well. Whatever your choice is, either one. If it comes in a sheet, you might even want to cut your cork sheet to size if you have a good cutter, okay? I see more people jumping on. Hello, Sherry and Tracy, Susan, Joan Horner. Hi, Cheryl and Carla. Wow, you guys are making my day. This is wonderful. Okay, so now when I have these all sealed and they're dry and I've put some kind of protective backing on, what I like to do for gifts, I like to stack them, and you can pick, whatever one stands out to you that you want on top. Okay. And then I'll use these for an example. Same thing I did here. And I like to mix and match patterns when I'm doing this. But then if I'm giving these for a gift, sure, you can put them in a pretty gift bag or gift box and wrap them. But this is something I like to do. And I'm just doing this quickly here. And again, keep in mind that these are not completely finished because I have to put the protective backing on. Well, I first have to seal them and then put the protective backing on. But I want to show you just what this looks like if you tie them up with a pretty ribbon and bow. And don't you just love this ribbon, the organdy striped petal pink ribbon? This is probably my favorite in the catalog. And it also coordinates with things in the mini catalog as well as our annual catalog. And then you would just trim off. Whoops. I like to leave some tails on that kind of hang over the coasters. I would add a nice little tag or even a 3x3 card that you can slip underneath that ribbon. And it's ready to go. So let's talk about gifts. Oh, and here's some ideas. You might choose to use one of the Country Club twine to tie up the golf coasters. Or the other one I thought of, which I don't have any right now, is there's a navy denim looking ribbon that is in our annual catalog that I think would be awesome for the golf papers as well. Yes, Shar, I agree. Stampin' Up! Ribbon is beautiful. What's not to love about it, right? So, gift ideas. And we've got several things coming up. I would say if you're going somewhere for Easter and you want to take a little hostess gift, this would be perfect. But like me, most of you are probably just staying at home and celebrating Easter small, intimate style. But these make great hostess gifts for any kind of party or dinner or occasion. They're also great gifts for Mother's Day, for Father's Day, for graduates, for people going to their first apartments. They could be a housewarming gift, birthday gift, a coworker gift, just, you know, hey, you did a great job. I appreciate you. It could also be something that you would use as a table favor and put at place settings if you perhaps were having a luncheon or dinner. Say you're having a golf outing. My friend Jackie, she and her family are very involved in a golf outing for a scholarship fund in memory of their nephew. And they do a golf outing each year. How cool would that be? At each place at the lunch would have a golf coaster. And then they have something to take home with them. Debbie, yes, I had a couple of weeks ago, Andrea and her boyfriend were going to Home Depot. He just bought a new house, so he's doing lots of projects in his home. So I just called and said, hey, when next time you go there, grab me 20 tiles. And now I'm thinking, okay, I just used 8 myself. No, 10, 14. I've got another set of 8. What was I thinking? I should have told her, grab me 100. So anyways, great for different holidays too. You know, if you like the table favor idea, why not do them for your Thanksgiving table, for your Christmas table, for a birthday dinner, anything. Just so much fun and so easy to make and very inexpensive to make. You can make up a whole bunch quickly on a pretty low budget. So it's a win all the way around. And anytime I've given these as gifts, people have been so appreciative and very thankful and impressed that I made these. And look how easy they are. Great to do if you are with children and grandchildren right now. During this, in Ohio, we have the stay-at-home order, which a lot of states do. So if you've got younger children around, great idea for babysitters to do with children. Anybody else think of something different that maybe I haven't mentioned? I know I pulled a couple of ideas from here, but yes. So definitely once you've Modge Podge the paper onto the tile, be sure to seal it either with the Modge Podge, brushing on Modge Podge, or with a spray sealer. And then be sure to protect the backing with either the felt pieces or some cork. Oh, teacher gifts. Yes, Deb, thank you. That's an awesome idea. How cool would that be for a teacher gift? And your children can help make these. That's awesome. Oh, one thing I did, bridal showers, weddings. See what we can do together. I love this. Baby showers. I love this. I love creating with all of you, and I love getting your ideas as well. One thing I did want to mention, when you are buying the tiles, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, there's like this icky spiderweb glue type of thing on here. Let me show you, and it comes off very easily, but obviously we shouldn't be using our fingernails to do that. And I think it's really there because it sort of is a protection between the tiles when they're, you know, in their crates and things like that. I used the spatula end of my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to move these out of the way because it does make a mess. And I just scrape that off. It did not hurt my tool. It takes this off easily. If you do happen to get a scratch on the tile, no worries, because you're covering up the tile anyways. You see all that coming off? So it comes off very easily. You can probably use like a scrubby too, but this way you don't have to worry about getting any water on the back side of the tile. And then I just wipe it off with, you can use a damp cloth or your Clorox wipes and such. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you about that. Don't think when you're buying them and you see or feel that there's something wrong with them. Okay, that's intended to be there and it comes off easily. So even that just takes minutes to remove, so it's ready for your coaster making. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating. Thank you for sharing both this Facebook Live before, during, and after. And thank you for sharing your wonderful ideas, because together we do great things. You made my day. I look forward to being with you on Stampin' Piece VIP group on Thursday at 2 p.m. I have no idea what I'll be doing that day, but I'm sure it will be fun. So thanks for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again. Be sure to check out stampinpiece.com for today's Tuesday tip. Bye-bye.